Time keeps ticking, a kind reminder of what we have and what we've lost. What do you do when time feels like it's falling apart? When grief stops the clock and despair darkens every moment? Here's a story about a guy who discovered the truth, not by checking the time, but by diving deep into his own shattered heart. In the quiet embrace of Havenwood, a town cradled by rolling hills, resided Elias, a clockmaker of renowned skill. His workshop was a sanctuary of ticking sound, a chorus of whispers marking the passage of time in its own unique rhythm. If time itself is ailing, the townsfolk would say, Elias can coax it back to life. Havenwood had no idea about the storm brewing inside him. Years ago, a reckless driver took away his beloved wife, Clara, and their lively son, Samuel, leaving a huge void in his life. The vibrant colors of his world had bled into an endless monochrome. Since that fateful day, Elias lived by a single, desperate mantra: keep moving, or the abyss will swallow you whole. It was all he could do to survive. His days were a blur of relentless work, from the faintest blush of dawn until the moon cast long shadows. He mended the timepieces of others with meticulous care, yet he dared not confront the fractured clockwork of his own soul. Laughter became a forgotten melody, rest a distant memory, and life itself a haunting echo. One melancholic afternoon, the soft chime of his shop's bell announced a visitor. A young girl of 10 years, named Hannah, entered, clutching a dilapidated clock with reverence. Its glass was spider-webbed with cracks, its hands missing, frozen in silent agony. She softly set it on his work table, her voice barely a whisper. "This was my grandfather's," she said, her eyes brimming with unshed tears. "It stopped the day he passed. My mother, she says it's cursed." Elias' face, etched with a map of sorrow, picked up the clock. His skilled fingers, calloused yet gentle, traced its worn edges. He looked at the girl, a flicker of recognition in his weary eyes. "Time itself bears no curses, little one," he said, his voice raspy from disuse. "We curse time when we cease to live within it." A glimmer of hope lit up Hannah's eyes. "Can you fix it, please? Maybe it will help my mum smile again." Elias simply nodded, his heart aching with a familiar pang. He knew that some wounds are deeper than gears and springs. "I shall do my best." That night, as Havenwood slumbered beneath a blanket of stars, Elias embarked on his task. As he delicately opened the clock's aged back, a tiny, folded piece of paper tumbled out. He gently opened it, showing faded ink that spoke of the past. "To whoever finds this, remember, even broken things can tell time. You simply need the courage to win them again." The words struck him with the force of a revelation, like a bolt of lightning. He stared at the rusted, unmoving gears, and within their stillness he saw a stark reflection of his own heart, frozen in time, silenced by grief. As he began to clean and oil the intricate mechanism with shaking hands, a long dormant lock within him clicked open. Fleeting echoes from his past surged forth, the infectious laughter of Clara, dancing in their sun-drenched kitchen, Samuel's bright voice, begging him to join their games in the meadow. He remembered his last words to them before their fateful journey: "I haven't the time right now." A casual dismissal that now felt like a self-inflicted curse. Overwhelmed, he set his tools down, the silence of the workshop deafening. He cried aloud and bitterly as he finished his work. Maybe time just kept moving, he murmured to the hundreds of clocks around him, his voice trembling with emotion. It felt like the world was spinning faster than he could keep up, you know. Perhaps I stopped for it. Those words sink deep in his mind, until a glimpse of hope flicker with a newfound determination in him. For the first time in years, he resisted the urge to bury himself in his work. He stepped outside and sat on the weathered bench in front of his shop. The stars twinkled above, patient and unwavering, and he felt the world breathing around him, a rhythm he had long forgotten. It was a symphony of crickets, the rustling of leaves, the distant sounds of birds, life persisting, even in the face of loss. The next morning, Hannah returned, her eyes shining with hope and trepidation. Elias emerged from the shop, a faint, genuine smile gracing his lips. He handed her the clock. The glass was now polished to a crystalline clarity. The wood gleamed with a renewed luster, and its hands ticked with a soft, reassuring rhythm. Hannah noticed a change in Elias. "I'm happy you are smiling once again," she declared. "Thank you for fixing my grandfather's clock." As she took it, her fingers brushed against a small, folded piece of paper tucked into the back cover. "What's this?" she asked, her brow furrowed with curiosity. Elias offered a gentle, knowing smile. "It's a reminder, little one." On the paper, written in his elegant script, were the words, "Every second is a chance to begin again." Hannah's face lit up with understanding. "Can I give it to my mum?" she asked, her voice filled with excitement. Elias nodded, his heart swelling with a newfound lightness. "Yes, you can. But tell her this, the clock isn't fixed because it's perfect. It's fixed because it forgave its cracks." In the days and weeks that followed, Havenwood witnessed a remarkable transformation in their clockmaker. His shop now closed as the sun dipped below the horizon. He started visiting neighbors, sharing a cup of tea and a kind word, even dusting off old jokes that brought smiles to their faces. He was reconnecting with the threads of life he had severed so long ago. He even found the courage to confront the one clock he had refused to touch for years, the one that had belonged to Clara, as its gentle ticking filled his quiet home once more. Chasing away the ghosts of silence, he whispered, "Forgive me, my love, for trying to live only in the hours I lost." And for the first time in a very long time, he slept in peace, not haunted by nightmares, but soothed by memories. Years later, after Elias had passed on, leaving behind a legacy of time well spent, the townspeople discovered a final note pinned to his shop door. It read, "If your time feels broken, don't rush to discard it. Sit with it, listen to the silence. Forgive yourself for stopping. Because life isn't about fixing time, it's about learning to love it again, in all its imperfections." They decided to preserve his shop as it was, a living museum of moments, with hundreds of clocks still ticking, each at its own unique tempo. No one ever synchronized them. As one villager eloquently put it, Elias taught us that every heart beats to its own rhythm, and that's what makes life beautiful. Let the rhythm of storytelling resonate beyond the screen. For every tick of the clock is a tale waiting to unfold. This story reminds us that time is not an adversary to be outrun, but a river to navigate. Don't wait for time to heal you. Actively use your time to begin healing. Embrace each second as a fresh opportunity to forgive, to grow, and to love with an open heart. Remember the words of the ancient sages. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Thank you for embarking on this journey with us. If this story sparked a flicker of hope within your soul, give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more stories that inspire and heal. Until next time, embrace the present, cherish the past, and anticipate the future with courage and compassion. May your time be filled with purpose and peace. See you in the next one.